What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back in with a new video. And today, it is time that we do another political compass test. That's right, everybody. As many of you know, I like to take compass tests around holidays, around, certain times of the year and all of that. Well, I decided, you know what? We're basically more than halfway across the year, and July 4th is coming up. So I decided, you know what? Today we're going to be doing a quick political compass test on Shapley values, what is considered the best compass test by far. Now, before we continue with today's video, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the Twitter accounts and the other social media in the description down below. That's right, everybody. Follow the Twitter, like I just said. Follow the Rumble page. Follow all of it, all right, to help support the content. But also, I hope you join the channel. That's right, everybody. Just for $3 a month, you can join Real American, which helps support the daily content and helps keep this channel independent. You want to keep the channel independent? Well, this is the best way to do it. So I hope and recommend you join the channel today. All right, everybody. So again, this will be a nice, relaxing video. It's not going to be your usual, X and X, data map. No, we're not doing any prediction stuff. We're just doing a nice, relaxing, political compass test to see how my opinions change on much through like a half year or so. We'll just see. So let us get started again. This will be a longer form video, and this will be a bit more relaxing. So sit back, get some popcorn, whatever, and enjoy. Alright, animals deserve certain universal rights. Strongly agree. I mean, animals, they should not be tortured. These people that say, oh, animals don't deserve rights, they do. They do deserve universal rights. Something. I'm not talking about, can't eat meat. That's not what people say. When I'm talking about rights, I'm saying you can't make an animal suffer. You just can't. So, I strongly agree. Two consenting individuals should be able to do whatever they want with each other, even if it makes you uncomfortable. In private, I don't care. If you're doing it in your bedroom, I can care less. If you're doing it in public, though, no, I have a serious problem. But if you're doing it in private, I can care less. But I'm neutral on this because recently we're starting to see, some bad individuals, go up to kids and completely naked. It's like, no, you should not be allowed to do that crap. So I am neutral on this overall. If you're doing it privately, I don't care. Publicly, no, especially not in front of children. Neutral. The current welfare system should be expanded to further combat inequality. It needs reform. As many of you probably know, I support turning the welfare system into a negative income tax system. It's from Milton Friedman. Go look it up. Negative income tax. I believe it's the best way to fix welfare. And it would, in fact, decrease welfare, but also allow more people to get it easier. How it works is essentially if you make below a certain income, imagine a universal basic income, but it's based on your income and, somebody that's making $500,000 a year, they're not getting anything. It's meant for, if you make $0, let's say the standard deduction is $24,000. You get half that. So you get probably $12,000. And that's worst case scenario. And it just replaces the welfare system. It just makes more sense in my opinion. So I am saying I'm neutral on expanding it, but I support reforming into the negative income tax system. Multiculturalism is bad. Strongly agree. No culture or society has ever survived by not assimilating other people into their culture. I'm not talking 5 people. I'm talking about America. It's 30-40% of the country is immigrant. I believe the younger generation is half are born to immigrants, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, it's something crazy. And these people, a lot of them are not assimilating. Some of them are, but there's a lot of problems when you don't enforce assimilation. Autonomy of body extends even to minors, the mentally ill, and serious criminals. Ooh. Now, when they say this is saying okay, if there's a certain like minors, I agree. They should not be forced to, well, ooh, this one's always been tricky. I'm unsure about it. It just, you open the can of worms where it's like, yes, but they do have autonomy of body, but it's like minors, do they know better? So I'm unsure about that. Gender is a social construct, not a natural state of affairs. Strongly disagree. We've had the same traditions for 500 years. You know, the men are usually the ones with a job, they provide the income, while the women stay at home and take care of the kids and the family, the rest of the family. That's not me being sexist. It's just a fact that we've had that for years. Now suddenly it switches. It's like, no. It is human nature to be greedy. Strongly agree. The death penalty should exist for certain crimes. Yeah, if you kill somebody, you're on the chopping block. If you're a mass murderer, you're dead. So, I agree. Transgender individuals should not be able to adopt children. Now, again, this is a thing where it's like 90% of cases I agree. But there are some where it's like, I'm not talking with the people that have a serious health concern, like they were born with it. There are some people, it's like 0.1%, but it's like, they do exist. It's not their fault that, oh, they do have serious problems with their sex and stuff like that. Their gender. I forgot the exact disease of it, but it's like they actually have serious health problems. That's a different story. That's a different argument, but I do agree overall, just for the simple fact, this community, it's a sad fact, a lot of them have mental illness. And a parent should not be somebody that has mental illness. It should be somebody that is sane and is able to raise the children. So, while I think it should be easier to adopt, I prefer the child goes into some kind of normal household with like father and a mother. So I agree. A government that provides for everyone is inherently a good idea. Yeah, but it doesn't mean it's going to be perfect, but I strongly agree. Homosexuality is against my values. I strongly agree. That doesn't mean I do not like certain people just because they're gay. No. I'm just saying that my beliefs are a marriage between a man and a woman. There's no question about it. And it's just a fact. That's my values. That's not me being saying, I hate certain people. I don't. I'm just saying that there is a certain tradition that I believe is the correct option. Exploitation is an outdated term. As the struggles of 1800s capitalism don't exist anymore, I disagree with this actually, because yes, like you don't have people, working in the coal mines for 20 hours a day and making 5 cents a year. That's gone. But now you're having something that's like new version of exploitation. You still have people working longer hours. The wages are getting crappy. It's like, I'm neutral on this because the old way is like, yeah, you don't have people in the coal mines for 20 hours a day. But it's like, there's clearly some exploitation currently happening. I'm neutral on it. The government should be less involved in the day-to-day life of its citizens. Yeah, that's just common sense. Now, when you talk about, protecting kids, making sure parents have rights, that's different. But it's like, no, they should not be involved in the day-to-day life, and let me make sure I read that right. Yeah, should be less involved. Organizations and corporations cannot be trusted and need to be regulated by the government. Yeah, common sense. Only the government can fairly and effectively regulate organizations. Nope. Look what happened with Bud Light. Bud Light got slapped. I mean, and that wasn't from government regulation. It was just people sick of this woke. Again, I don't like the term, but it's like, it's true. You don't overuse it. It's like nobody wants to see that when they're drinking beer. So I strongly disagree with that. Anybody can regulate a business, just the government, they're probably more effective at it. Taxation to wealthy is a bad idea. Society would be better off without it. I disagree with this just for the fact that if they're paying, like, let's say we had a flat rate and there's a high standard deduction. Let's say the first bracket's 20%. The second bracket, if it's 30%, is that going to really matter to somebody that makes $7 billion or like even $1 million at that point? It's like, I could see the argument. I'm not saying like strongly disagree. I'm just saying like, okay, yeah, that's a lot of money, but it's like, there's certain people where even half, if you're making $10 billion a year, your tax at 50%, that's still a drop in the bucket. You still have 5 billion. But I'm saying, like, in general, I disagree with that sentiment. Freedom of business is the best practical way a society can prosper. I disagree. The best way a society can prosper is through, protecting the culture of the country. Class the primary division of society. These questions I'm always iffy on. Because we're getting to a point where there's arguments about, is it race, is it class? I'm kind of in the middle on that. Without democracy, a society is nothing. Strongly disagree. Democracy has serious problems. The smaller the government, the freer the people. Another one. In theory, yes. But now, no. Because even if you had a small government, you do the libertarian thinking. Well, excuse me. These big corporations, they are essentially usurping power from the government. So I strongly disagree. There needs to be some kind of government to regulate, but it can't be, every little decision's decided by the government. Drugs are harmful and should be banned. Outside of medical purposes, no, but I agree. If you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear. I'm neutral. Because, if you're not hiding anything, you don't got anything to fear, but it's like, that still doesn't mean, some police officer should knock down your door. It's like, no, I'm neutral on that. The police were not created to protect the people, but to uphold the status quo by force. I disagree with that. Of course they're there to maintain order, but they're also there to help protect people. So I actually do disagree with that, but the argument could be made. I'm going to say neutral on that. I'm just going to say neutral because you can make the argument that it's the other way around. The harder you work, the more you progress up the social ladder. Generally agree, but now it's becoming a little bit iffy. Like, now they got to factor in your race if you can move up the social ladder. It's sickening, but it's true. But we are at a point still where if you work hard, you are going to move up the ladder, generally speaking. In times of crisis, safety becomes more important than civil liberties. Strongly disagree. Because anything can become a crisis and suddenly, bam, your freedom of speech is gone. The government should at most provide emergency services and law enforcement. Strongly disagree. It should do a bit more. Strength is necessary for any government to succeed. Abso-frickin-lutely. I'm not talking about unlimited power like Emperor Palpatine. I'm talking about they should be able to make sure big corporations aren't able to, do anything crazy. We're going to dump a bunch of pollution in the water. Yeah, I agree with that. Jury nullification should be legal, which essentially means some people just get off free because, we are against this law or legal thing. I disagree with that for the fact that it opens up a bad can of worms. One cannot be moral without religion. This one's iffy. One hand, there are moral people that I know that aren't necessarily religious. On the other hand, though, can we just be real here? You look at the polling data. The people that are more pro-life, they're more for traditional families, they tend to be more religious. Well, atheists tend to be not necessarily less moral, just not in line with culture as much, traditional values. So, I do disagree, but you can make an argument for it. I'm just making sure one cannot be moral without religion. I somewhat disagree on that. Land should not be a commodity to be bought and sold. Strongly disagree. If you're going to buy land, you could sell it. Who cares? Now, there should be regulation where the Chinese aren't able to buy it, and freaking Bill Gates shouldn't be able to buy unlimited land. So I'm going to say disagree. There's no reason Bill Gates owns 1 billion acres. I know it's an exaggeration, but it's there should be some regulation. Be okay, the CCP can't buy private lands, and Bill Gates, why are you owning a bunch of farms? All industry in the bank should be nationalized. Strongly disagree. Disaster waiting to happen. Sometimes it is right that the government may spy on its citizens to combat extremists and terrorists. Strongly disagree. No reason should you ever spy on your citizens. Charity is a better way of helping those in need than social welfare. I agree. I still think we need some kind of negative income tax system, but generally speaking, these private charities, I know there's a lot of scams out there, but generally speaking, these private charities do a more effective job at helping people. So I agree. An individual's body is their own property, and they should be able to do anything they desire to it. Ooh. One hand, I do not believe if you do not want to take a certain vaccine or whatever, I don't think you should be forced to. And yeah, I know YouTube's probably demonetized it, but it's like, I'm not talking about, oh, we gotta ban it. I'm just saying that if we don't want to take a certain medicine or a certain shot, should we force people to do it? Now, at the same time, this argument is being said about abortion and stuff. It's like, that's not your body. Give me a frickin' break. And also, you are talking about, these people that are transitioning. I'm neutral. I am very unsure about this. I'm one of those where it's like, some issues, yes, like, if there's certain medicine you don't want to take, that's up to you. But it's like the quote-unquote, my body, my choice when it comes to abortion, that's bull. So I'm neutral, because there's some, that's a tough one. I'm not talking about, like, vaccines and stuff. I'm not talking about that. I mean, if you want to not take it or take it, I can really care less. I'm just saying, like, for abortions and stuff, that's a different ballgame. Parents should hold absolute power over their children as they are older and more experienced. Yeah, the government should not, unless the child's being actually abused. I'm not talking about, he was misgendered. I'm talking about, thrown into a pit of lava. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about, he was misgendered. But outside of that, yeah, parents should have unlimited authority over their kids. State schools are a bad idea because our state shouldn't be influencing our children. Strongly agree. Victimless crimes should still be punished. I hate this terminology. Victimless crimes. There's always some kind of victim. It's a matter of, if it's society. It's like, there's still, yeah. I always hate this. I know it's like, you get a parking ticket. It's a little bit different, but I think this is talkable, drunk driving and stuff. I agree, though. There still needs to be punishment. You shouldn't be allowed to, it's a victimless crime. Not necessarily. Wages are always fair as employers know what is best for what a worker's labor is worth. I strongly disagree. If you think you know what if you really think that's true, actually I'm going to say disagree, but if you think the employer is going to pay fairly, they're going to try to somehow, pay as less as possible. So that's just fact. It's not like it's business. It just makes financial sense to get the most out of your employee, but also pay as less as possible. It just makes business sense. Mandatory ID should be used to ensure public safety. No. Like, if you want to vote or you want to drive, yeah, you need an ID. But if you're just going to walk, no. Stop with this mandatory crap. No. Laws based on cultural values rather than ethical ones aren't justice. Disagree. There needs to be laws based on cultural values. I'm not talking about, forcing religion on people. I'm just saying, like, say abortion, which I would argue is ethical, but also culturally it makes sense because abortion really destroys a potential family. So I disagree with the sentiment that it ain't justice. It is. It is justice to have laws based on cultural values to a lesser extent. A person should be able to worship whomever or whatever they want. Generally agree. Now, I'm not talking like, a cult, like some satanic cult where they go to Jonestown. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if you're going to worship Hindu, Buddha, Muslim, I don't care. I'm personally Catholic, but I agree. Nudism is perfectly natural. Disagree, because it has gone off the rails the past 10 years. Authority figures, if morally correct, are a good thing for society. Absolutely. No, I don't think I gotta explain that. Communism is an ideal that can never work in practice. Strongly agree. Economic inequality is too high in the world. Some parts, abso-frickin-lutely. I'm not denying that. But at the same time, just let's be real here. I know there's a lot of problems with current society, but we are at a point where this is a tough one because you can make the argument, we are the wealthiest we've ever been. And like, yeah, people are really rich, but it's like, so are a lot of other people. At the same time, recently there's been a lot of wealth transfer from the middle class to the upper class because of the shutdowns, because of recent policy, because of inflation, all of it. So I actually agree. There is too much inequality, but that doesn't mean, we need to tax the wealthy. We need to do a wealth tax. Not what I'm saying. I'm just saying we got some problems to fix. Society requires structure and bureaucracy in order to function. Disagree. It needs, well, this is the problem. They add bureaucracy to it. If you add structure, yes. I'm going to say neutral because of that last part. And let's see here. Yes, and I like the, let's see. Yes, give me to the results. And there we go. What? That's it? What? That is bizarre. So, according to this, I'm just a pure centrist? What? I don't... You see, this is my problem with some political compass tests here. I mean, how can you say I'm a centrist? I'm against gay marriage. I'm against, abortion. How am I a centrist? Economics, yeah, but it's like... I actually disagree with this. I 100% disagree with this political compass. I am not... I don't know what to say. I don't know what I said that made me I'm suddenly a centrist now? Well, on the right it says I'm fairly conservative, so yeah, I mean... But... You see, this is my problem. Like, this is why I'm not the biggest fan of political compass tests, because... What? What did I answer that made me so much of a centrist? Okay, that's bizarre. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the Twitter accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. I'm shocked by this. What? I'm baffled. Could someone explain to me what I answered? I thought I answered everything fine. Unless I misunderstood a question, like on the, autonomy of the body. Did I misunderstand that? Whatever. Anyways, folks, I think this is baloney, but I hope you enjoyed. We'll see you guys in the next video or live stream. Godspeed to all of you.